The stars burned cold in the void, endless and silent. As the human scout ship Dawn drifted through the edge of the Orion Arm, Captain Tom led a small crew. 5 souls aboard a vessel built for exploration, not war. Their mission was simple: map uncharted systems, catalogue planets, and report back to Earth. But the galaxy had other plans. In the dim glow of the control room, the ship's sensors beeped. Technician Anna, hunched over her console, frowned. "Captain, I'm picking up a signal. It's faint, but it's not natural." Her fingers danced across the screen, pulling up data. The signal pulsed like a heartbeat, coming from a barren planet below, a rocky world with no name, just a string of numbers in the star charts. Tom leaned over her shoulder. "Can you decode it?" "It's a distress call," Anna said, her voice tight. "But it's not human. The pattern's alien, repeating every 10 seconds. Someone's down there." The crew gathered: pilot Jack, engineer Mike, and medic Lisa. They exchanged glances. Humanity had met aliens before, but contact was rare, and trust was thinner than the hull of their ship. Still, a distress call wasn't something they could ignore. Tom made the call. "Jack, take us down. Let's see what's waiting." The Dawn descended through thin clouds, landing on a cracked gray plain. The planet was a graveyard of jagged rocks and dust, lit by a weak red star. The crew suited up, their breath-fogging visors, and stepped onto the surface. The signal led them to a shallow cave, its entrance half collapsed. Inside they found her, a young alien, barely alive, curled in a corner. Her skin was pale blue, her forearms limp, and her large eyes dull with pain. Strange tech, broken and sparking, lay scattered around her. Lisa knelt beside the alien. "She's hurt bad. Burns, maybe from a crash. I can stabilize her, but we need to move fast." The crew didn't hesitate. They carried the alien back to the Dawn, her fragile body light in their arms. Lisa worked through the night, using what little they knew of alien biology to keep her alive. By morning, the alien stirred, her eyes focusing on her rescuers. She spoke in clicks and hums, but the ship's translator caught fragments. "Thank you taken others trapped." Her name, as close as they could pronounce, was Ella. She was the last of her scouting party, ambushed by a race called the Crawl, a brutal species known for raiding and enslaving weaker worlds. Her people, the Vren, were peaceful, their planet hidden in a nebula. The Crawl had found it, taken her kin, and left her to die. Tom's jaw tightened. "Where are they holding your people?" Ella pointed to a star map, her thin arm trembling. "There, mining colony, many prisoners." The coordinates were far, deep in uncharted space, where no human ship had ventured. The crew knew the risks. They were explorers, not soldiers. The Dawn had no weapons, just shields and speed. But Ella's eyes, wide with hope, held them. "We can't just leave them," Anna said, breaking the silence. "If we saved one, we can save more." Mike nodded. "We've got tools, brains, and guts. That's enough to start." Jack grinned. "Let's give these Crawl a surprise they won't forget." Tom looked at Ella, then at his crew. Humanity hadn't fought a war in decades, not since the colonies united. But they'd built ships, studied stars, and learned to survive in the void. If the Crawl thought they could prey on the weak without consequence, they didn't know humans. "We're going," Tom said. "We'll get your people back." As the Dawn lifted off, engines humming, the crew felt a spark ignite. They weren't just saving Ella's kin, they were sending a message. Humanity might be young among the stars, but they didn't back down. One soul rescued was a start, but they'd fight for all. The ship vanished into the dark, heading toward the Crawl's mining colony. The galaxy was vast, and the odds were grim. But humans had a knack for defying odds. For Ella, for her people, and for every soul the crawl had chained, humanity was coming, and they wouldn't stop until the job was done. The dawn cut through the void, its engines humming as it sped toward the crawl's mining colony. The stars outside blurred into streaks, but inside the ship, tension hung heavy. Captain Tom stood at the helm, eyes fixed on the star map. The coordinates Ella had given led to a system buried in a dense nebula, where sensors struggled and shields strained. It was a perfect place for predators to hide. In the med bay, Ella rested, her blue skin less pale but still fragile. Medic Lisa checked her vitals, noting the alien's slow recovery. "She's stable," Lisa said, glancing at Tom. "But she's worried. Keeps talking about her people. Hundreds of them, maybe more, trapped in that colony." Tom nodded. "We'll get them out. But first, we need a plan." He called the crew to the control room. Pilot Jack, technician Anna, and engineer Mike gathered around a holotable, the map glowing with the nebula's swirling clouds and the colony's location, a rocky planet orbiting a dying star. Anna tapped the display. "The nebula's radiation will mess with our sensors. We'll be half-blind going in. If the crawl have defenses, we won't see them until we're close." Jack leaned back, arms crossed. "Great. So we're flying into a trap with no guns. Any bright ideas?" Mike grinned, patting a crate of spare parts. "We've got tools and scrap. I can rig something, maybe decoys or a pulse to fry their scanners. Won't be pretty, but it'll give us a shot." Tom looked at Ella, who sat quietly, her large eyes watching them. "What can you tell us about the crawl?" he asked. Her voice, still weak, came through the translator. "Strong, fast. No mercy. They use ships with claws, grab and tear. Their colony has cages. Deep underground. Many guards. Machines watch the skies." The crew exchanged glances. Humans hadn't fought aliens before, not like this. Their wars were history, fought on Earth or its colonies, against each other. But the crawl sounded like a threat no one could ignore. Tom's mind raced. The Dawn was a scout ship, built for speed, not combat. They'd need to be clever. "Mike, start on those decoys," Tom said. "Anna, see if you can boost the shields to handle the nebula's radiation. Jack, plot a course that keeps us hidden as long as possible. Lisa, keep Ella strong, she's our guide." The crew scattered to their tasks. Mike hauled parts to the engine room, welding and wiring scraps into crude drones that could mimic the Dawn's signal. Anna recalibrated the shields, her fingers flying over controls as she muttered about power drains. Jack traced paths through the nebula, using its clouds for cover. In the med bay, Lisa fed Ella nutrient packs, coaxing her to eat while asking about Vren technology, anything that might help. Days passed in a blur of work. The nebula loomed closer, its violet and green swirls filling the view screen. Ella grew stronger, joining the crew in the control room. She pointed to the map. "There, entrance to mines. Narrow canyon. Ships land there." Tom studied the layout. "If we can sneak in, we might disable their defenses before they know we're there. Mike, how's your pulse device?" Mike wiped sweat from his brow. "It's rough, but it'll send a shock through their systems. Scanners, maybe weapons. We'll need to be close, though. Real close." The risk was clear. One wrong move, and the crawl's claw ships would tear the Dawn apart. But the crew felt a fire growing. They'd saved Ella, a stranger from a distant world, and now her people's fate rested on them. Humanity wasn't just fighting for the Vren, it was proving something to the galaxy. They wouldn't let tyrants like the Kroll prey on the weak. As the dawn entered the nebula, static crackled across the screens. The ship shuddered, radiation clawing at the shields. Jack gripped the controls, keeping them steady. "Here we go," he said, half a grin on his face. "Time to crash their party." Tom placed a hand on Ella's shoulder. "We'll find your people. All of them." The nebula swallowed the dawn, hiding it from the Kroll's eyes. Ahead lay the mining colony, a fortress of stone and steel. The crew didn't know what waited, guards, machines, or worse. But they were ready. Humanity had taken its first step into the fight, and there was no turning back. The dawn glided through the nebula's haze, its hull cloaked by swirling clouds of gas and dust. The crew sat tense in the control room, the faint hum of the engines mixing with the crackle of static from the nebula's radiation. Captain Tom stared at the viewscreen, where the Kroll's mining colony loomed, a jagged planet of black rock and glowing orange fissures. The narrow canyon Ella had described was their target, a scar in the planet's surface leading to the colony's landing pads. Pilot Jack eased the ship closer, his hands steady on the controls. "We're in the canyon's shadow," he said. "No sign of their scanners picking us up. Mike's decoys are ready to launch." Tom nodded. "Good. Anna, how's the pulse device?" Technician Anna checked her console. "It's charged, but it's a one-shot deal. We'll need to be right on top of their defenses to knock them out. Range is maybe a kilometer." Ella sat nearby, her large eyes fixed on the planet. Her forearms twitched, a sign of her growing strength and her fear. "Guards patrol the canyon," she said through the translator. "Machines, too. They scan for heat and metal." Engineer Mike wiped grease from his hands. "That's why the decoys go first. They'll draw attention while we slip in." His makeshift drones, cobbled from spare parts, were rigged to mimic the dawn's heat signature and signal. If they worked, the Kroll would chase ghosts. "Launch them," Tom ordered. Mike tapped a command, and 3 drones shot from the dawn, darting toward the canyon's edge. Their signals blared, loud and false, lighting up the Kroll's scanners. Almost instantly, alarms echoed from the colony. 2 claw-shaped ships rose from the landing pads, their hulls glinting like predators' teeth as they chased the decoys into the nebula. "Now, Jack," Tom said, "take us in." The dawn dropped low, skimming the canyon floor. Rocks scraped the hull, but Jack kept it steady. The landing pads came into view, crude platforms carved into the rock, surrounded by towering metal towers that hummed with energy. Scanner arrays, Anna guessed, or maybe weapons. No time to find out. "Anna, hit the pulse," Tom said. She slammed the button. A low thrum shook the dawn as the pulse device fired, sending an electromagnetic wave across the canyon. The towers sparked and went dark. For a moment silence fell. No alarms, no drones, just the faint glow of the planet's fissures. "Defenses are down," Anna reported. "But we've got maybe 10 minutes before they reboot." The crew suited up, their breath fogging their visors. Ella insisted on coming, her thin frame now steady enough to walk. "I know the mines," she said. "I can guide you." Tom hesitated but nodded. "Stay close. Lisa, keep an eye on her. Mike, grab the cutting tools. Jack, Anna, you're with me on point." They exited the dawn, boots crunching on the rocky ground. The air was thin, the sky a sickly orange. The canyon's walls loomed, hiding them from above, but every shadow felt like a threat. Ella led them to a heavy metal gate embedded in the rock, the entrance to the mines. It was locked, but Mike made short work of it, his plasma cutter slicing through like butter. Inside, the tunnels were dark, lit only by flickering orange lights. The air smelled of metal and dust. Ella pointed down a sloping path. Cages are deep. Many levels. Prisoners work until they break. The crew moved fast, weapons drawn. Basic pulse rifles, meant for fending off wildlife, not fighting an army. They reached the first level, a vast chamber where Vren prisoners toiled, their blue skin dull with exhaustion. Crawl guards, tall and scaled with claws like knives, patrolled the edges. The sight hit Tom like a punch. These weren't just captives, they were slaves. Quietly, Tom whispered. The crew split up, using the shadows. Anna hacked a control panel, shutting off the chamber's lights. In the dark, they struck. Jack and Tom stunned two guards, their bodies slumping silently. Lisa and Ella freed the nearest prisoners, cutting their chains. The Vren stared, too shocked to speak, but followed as Ella urged them toward the exit. They moved deeper, level by level, freeing more. But the crawl weren't fools. Alarms blared as the towers rebooted. Claws scraped the tunnels behind them. The crew had saved dozens, but hundreds remained. Time was running out, and the crawl were closing in. Alarms screamed through the dark tunnels of the crawl mining colony, red lights flashing like angry eyes. Captain Tom and his crew hurried deeper into the mines, a growing group of freed Vren prisoners trailing behind them. The blue-skinned aliens moved quietly, their large eyes wide with a mix of fear and hope. Ella stayed close to Medic Lisa, whispering directions as they navigated the twisting paths. "More guards ahead," Ella said, her voice low. "Big chamber, main work area. Many prisoners there." Tom gripped his pulse rifle tighter. The crew had stunned a few crawl already, but the aliens were tough, their scaled bodies shrugging off hits that would drop a human. Engineer Mike carried extra tools, ready to cut more chains, while Technician Anna scanned for weak points in the colony's systems. Pilot Jack covered the rear, watching for pursuit. They reached the main chamber, a huge cave lit by harsh lights, where hundreds of Vren dug at glowing orange veins in the rock. Crawl guards, twice the size of humans with claws that gleamed, barked orders and cracked whips. The sight fueled the crew's anger. These were not just miners. They were broken souls, chained and beaten. "We hit them fast," Tom said. "Anna, jam their comms. Mike, free as many as you can. Jack, Lisa, cover us. Ella, rally your people." Anna nodded and hacked a nearby panel, sending static through the crawl's radios. The guards paused, confused, tapping their devices. That's when the crew struck. Tom and Jack fired first, stunning two guards who dropped with thuds. The Vren prisoners looked up, tools frozen in their hands. "Free them!" Tom yelled. Mike rushed forward, his cutter slicing chains. The Vren surged, grabbing rocks and tools as weapons. But the crawl recovered quick. One roared, charging at Tom with claws raised. Tom dodged, firing a pulse that sent the guard crashing into a wall. Another guard grabbed Lisa, but Ella leaped in, her four arms wrapping around its neck. Lisa stunned it, and it fell. More crawl poured in from side tunnels, alarms still blaring. The chamber turned into chaos, pulses flashing, claws slashing, Vren shouting as they fought back. Jack took a hit, his suit tearing, but he kept firing. "These guys are ugly and mean," he grunted. Anna found a control station and overloaded it, causing lights to explode and rocks to fall, blocking some tunnels. "That'll slow them," she called. The crew pushed on, freeing more Vren. The prisoners joined the fight, overwhelming guards with numbers. One big crawl, maybe a leader, swung a massive club at Mike. Mike rolled away, grabbing a fallen whip and cracking it back. The leader snarled, but a group of Vren tackled it, pinning it down. Tom's rifle overheated, forcing him to switch to hand. He punched a guard, his fist aching against scales, but Ella helped, tripping it with her arms. Together, they stunned it. The chamber was theirs now, but the cost was high. Some Vren lay hurt, and Jack bled from his arm. "We can't hold here," Tom said, breathing hard. "Head for the surface. Get to the dawn." They moved as a group, hundreds strong now. But the crawl weren't done. From above, claw ships hummed, dropping more guards into the canyon. The crew burst out of the mines, the orange sky greeting them. The dawn sat waiting, but crawl ships circled like sharks. "Jack, get her started," Tom ordered. Jack ran to the ship, engines roaring to life. The Vren piled in, filling every space. Mike rigged explosives at the gate, blowing it to block pursuers. Anna fired the pulse device again, scrambling the claw ships targeting. One ship dived, claws extending. The dawn lifted just in time, the claws scraping the hull. Pulses from the ship's turrets, basic ones Mike had added, hit back, sending the ship spinning. Inside, Lisa tended wounds as the ship climbed. Ella hugged her kin, tears in her eyes. "You did it," she said to Tom. "You fought for us." Tom looked out at the shrinking planet. "Not over yet. We need to get you home." The dawn shot into the nebula, crawl ships chasing. The crew had clashed and won a battle, but the war had just begun. Humanity had shown its teeth, and the galaxy would remember. The dawn tore through the nebula, its engines screaming as claw ships closed in behind. Captain Tom gripped the armrests of his chair, eyes locked on the rear sensors. 3 enemy ships pursued, their hulls cutting through the swirling clouds like knives. Sparks flew from the dawn's damaged hull where claws had scraped it during takeoff. "Pilot Jack, evasive maneuvers," Tom shouted. Jack twisted the controls, banking the ship hard left. The nebula's dense gas hid them for moments, but the crawl were fast. A blast rocked the dawn, shields flickering. Technician Anna checked her console. "Shields at 60%. We can't take many more hits." In the cargo bay, hundreds of Vren huddled, their blue skins pressed together. Medic Lisa moved among them, bandaging wounds and calming fears. Ella helped, her voice steady as she translated Tom's updates. "The humans fight for us," she told her people. "They will not fail." Engineer Mike worked in the engine room, sweat dripping as he rerouted power. "I can boost the engines, but it'll burn fuel fast." "We need a plan, Captain." Tom thought quick. The nebula was their ally. Its radiation jammed sensors, but the crawl knew it well. "Anna, scan for weak spots in the clouds. Somewhere dense enough to lose them." Anna's fingers flew. "There's a thick patch ahead, full of debris. If we dive in, they might crash chasing us." "Jack, head for it," Tom said. The dawn plunged into the debris field, rocks and ice chunks bouncing off the hull. The crawl followed, but one ship clipped a boulder, spinning out of control. The other 2 pressed on, firing wildly. Another hit shook the dawn, alarms blaring. "Shields critical," Anna yelled. Mike burst into the control room. "I've got an idea. Those decoys we used earlier, I can launch the last one with a twist. Rig it to explode on contact." "Do it," Tom agreed. Mike hurried back, arming the decoy with spare fuel cells. He launched it behind them, its signal mimicking the dawn. One crawl ship veered toward it, claws extending. The decoy exploded in a fireball, engulfing the ship. Flames lit the nebula like a star. One left. The last crawl ship was bigger, probably their leader. It closed fast, weapons charging. Jack weaved through the debris, but the enemy matched every turn. "Ella, any tricks your people know about the crawl?" Tom asked. Ella thought. "Their ships overheat in chases. Push them hard, and systems fail." Tom nodded. "Jack, lead them deeper into the dense clouds. Make them work." The dawn dove into thicker gas, radiation spiking. The crawl followed, but smoke trailed from its vents. Still, it fired, grazing the dawn's wing. The ship lurched, power dipping. Engines faltering. Jack warned. Mike patched it quick, but they needed more. Anna hacked the comms, sending fake signals to confuse the crawl. "I'm broadcasting distress calls in their language. Might make them think reinforcements are coming." The crawl hesitated, slowing. Tom saw the chance. Full power ahead. Get us out of the nebula. The dawn burst free, stars clear again. The crawl emerged too, but its engines sputtered. It turned back, retreating to the colony. The crew cheered, but Tom stayed focused. "Set course for Vren homeworld. We need to get these people safe." As they flew, Ella approached Tom. "You risked everything for us." "Why?" Tom smiled. "Humans don't like bullies. We fight back, for one or for all." Word spread among the Vren. These humans, small and soft-skinned, had stormed a crawl stronghold with wits and will. In the bay, Vren shared stories, hope growing. Lisa treated the worst hurt, her gentle hands earning trust. But the fight wasn't over. The crawl would come for revenge. Tom sent a message to Earth. Rescued alien refugees. Hostile force encountered. Request backup. Earth's reply came hours later. Fleet en route. Hold strong. Humanity was mobilizing. What started as saving one soul had sparked a fire. The galaxy would see. Mess with the innocent, and humans would answer. The dawn sped on, carrying not just survivors, but the start of an alliance. For Ella's people, for all oppressed, humanity fought back. The dawn emerged from hyperspace near the Vren homeworld, a lush blue-green planet hidden in a shimmering nebula. Captain Tom watched from the bridge as the world grew larger on the viewscreen. The rescued Vren crowded the windows, their large eyes filling with tears at the sight of home. Ella stood beside Tom, her 4 arms clasped in gratitude. "We made it," she said softly. "Thanks to you." Tom nodded, but his mind was on the horizon. Earth's message promised a fleet, but space was vast, and the crawl wouldn't wait. Sensors already picked up faint signals, crawl scouts probing the nebula's edge. The rescue had poked the beast, and now it roared back. Pilot Jack landed the Dawn on a wide plain near the Vren capital, a city of tall, curving spires made from glowing crystal. Vren leaders met them, their robes flowing as they welcomed the survivors. The air buzzed with clicks and hums of joy, but worry lingered. Ella explained everything: the ambush, the mines, the humans' brave fight. The leaders turned to Tom. "You saved our kin," one said through a translator. "But the crawl will come. Our defenses are weak. We are builders, not warriors." Tom looked at his crew. Technician Anna, engineer Mike, medic Lisa, and Jack, all tired but determined. "Humans are both," Tom replied. "We'll help you prepare. Earth's ships are coming." The Vren shared their tech, shields that bent light, tools that shaped energy. Mike's eyes lit up. "This stuff is gold. I can upgrade the Dawn's weapons, make turrets for the city." Anna worked with Vren techs, linking systems to detect intruders early. Lisa set up a field hospital, teaching Vren healers about human medicine while learning their ways. Jack scouted the skies in a borrowed Vren shuttle, mapping weak points in the nebula. Days passed in a frenzy of work. The Vren, inspired by the humans' grit, trained with makeshift weapons. Ella led groups, showing them moves she learned from watching the crew fight. "Humans don't give up," she told them. "We won't either." Tom met with the leaders daily, planning defenses. "The Crawl rely on strength," he said. "We'll use speed and smarts. Traps in the nebula, decoys on the ground." As barriers rose and shields hummed, a warning came. Crawl fleet approaching, dozens of claw ships cutting through space. The Vren trembled, but the humans stood firm. "We've faced worse," Jack joked, though his hands shook on the controls. The Dawn lifted off to meet them, now armed with Vren energy beams. Tom's crew took stations, hearts pounding. "This is for all of you," Tom broadcast to the Vren below. The battle erupted in the nebula's clouds. Crawl ships charged, claws ready to tear. The Dawn dodged, firing beams that sliced through hulls. Mike's upgrades worked, shields held against blasts. Anna jammed enemy comms, sowing confusion. But the Crawl were many. One ship rammed the Dawn, hulls grinding. Alarms wailed as air hissed out. Lisa sealed the breach while Jack spun them free. Ella, now part of the crew, manned a turret, her shots precise. Ground defenses activated, Vren traps exploding, pulling ships into debris. The city shields glowed, repelling attacks. Yet the Crawl landed troops, scaled warriors storming the plains. Vren fighters met them, using human tactics, hit-and-run ambushes. The humans joined, pulse rifles blazing. Tom fought beside Ella, stunning a Crawl that towered over them. "Together!" he yelled. The tide turned when Earth's fleet arrived, sleek human warships bursting from hyperspace. Cannons roared, tearing into the Crawl. The aliens faltered, their leadership retreating under fire. Cheers echoed as the last Crawl fled. The Vren homeworld was safe. Leaders thanked the humans, forging an alliance sealed in battle. "You fought for us," they said. "Now we stand with you." Tom looked at the stars, knowing more threats loomed. But humanity had allies now. Saving one soul had saved a world, and the galaxy shifted. The crew rested, heroes in Vren eyes. For all souls oppressed, humanity's fight continued. The stars shone brighter over the Vren homeworld as the last Crawl ship vanished into the dark, chased by human warships. Captain Tom stood on the crystal spire of the Vren capital, looking out at the nebula's glow. Smoke rose from battle sites below, but the air filled with cheers. The alliance had held, and the Crawl were beaten, for now. Earth's fleet orbited the planet, massive cruisers with cannons that had turned the tide. Admiral Kate, leading the force, met Tom and the Vren leaders in the Grand Hall. Her uniform crisp, she shook Tom's hand. "Your message got through. We came as fast as we could. These Crawl, they've been raiding for years. Time we ended it." The Vren leaders nodded, their large eyes grateful. "Humans saved us. Now, together, we fight for all." Ella stood with Tom's crew, Pilot Jack nursing a bandaged arm, Technician Anna tweaking a Vren device, Engineer Mike sharing laughs with Vren builders, Medic Lisa checking on the wounded. What started as a simple rescue had grown into something bigger. Humanity, once alone in the stars, now had friends. But the Crawl weren't gone. Scouts reported their main fleet gathering at a distant stronghold, a fortified world deep in their territory. Admiral Kate spread a holomap on the table. "They're calling in allies, other raiders. If we strike now, we can end this threat forever." Tom looked at Ella. Your people have suffered enough. We'll finish it. The Vren pledged ships, sleek vessels with energy shields. Humans brought firepower. The combined fleet set out, the dawn leading the way. Tom felt the weight, but also pride. Humans explored, but when pushed, they fought like no other. The journey took days, sensors picking up crawl chatter. They were angry, vowing revenge on the soft humans and weak Vren. Tom smiled. They'd learn. The stronghold appeared, a ringed planet with orbital defenses, clawships swarming like bees. The battle began with a roar. Human cruisers fired missiles, blasting through shields. Vren ships darted in, energy beams slicing hulls. The dawn weaved through the chaos, Jack at the helm. "Hold on!" he yelled as blasts shook them. Anna jammed enemy targeting. Mike repaired damage on the fly. Lisa readied for casualties. Ella fired from a turret. A crawl battleship charged, claws extending. The Dawn dodged, but it clipped a wing. Alarms blared. "Return fire," Tom ordered. Beams hit true, cracking the battleship's armor. A human cruiser finished it, explosions lighting the void. Deeper in, ground forces landed on the planet. Tom led a team, humans and Vren together. They stormed the crawl base, a maze of steel and stone. Guards charged, claws slashing. Tom stunned one, Ella tripped another. Vren fighters, trained by humans, used tactics to overwhelm. In the heart of the base, they found the crawl leader, a massive beast with scarred scales. It roared, swinging a blade. "You dare challenge us?" Tom faced it. "You took souls. We take them back, for all." The fight was fierce. The leader's blade cut air, but Tom dodged, firing pulses. Ella joined, her arms wrapping its legs. Vren piled on, humans stunning it down. The leader fell, the base falling silent. With the head cut off, crawl forces surrendered. Prisoners were freed, not just Vren, but other races the crawl had enslaved. They cheered, joining the alliance. Back on the Vren world, celebrations lit the night. Tom stood with his crew, medals from the Vren around their necks. Admiral Kate raised a toast. To humanity, rescuers, fighters, friends. Ella hugged Tom. One soul started this. Now, many are free. Word spread across the galaxy. Races whispered of humans, who saved one and fought for all. Tyrants trembled, the oppressed found hope. The Dawn prepared to leave, but Tom knew they'd return. The alliance grew, ships from new worlds joining. Humanity led, not by force, but by example. As the ship lifted off, Tom looked back. The stars held dangers, but also allies. They had rescued one soul, and in doing so, humanity fought back, for all. The galaxy was changed, and humans stood tall among the stars.